Hi, everyone. I am Lorianne. I am that gal, and I am here with.
I am that guy. I'm Roy Miller from Dallas, Texas. And we'd like to welcome you to our How We See It podcast.
So tonight we have Justin, and he is president of iDrone, and we're going to find out how he has gotten into this business. Welcome, Justin.
Welcome. Thank you, Lorianne, and thank you, Roy. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you. So you started out as a hobby, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And all of a sudden you made that your business. Can
Yes.
you tell us a little bit about that?
In 2018, I was basically working at my full-time job, and I was on the phone with a customer. We were talking about drones. He was in it for a while, and I guess he was kind of egging me on, like, you should get one. So long story short, I ended up getting an aircraft back in 2018. Just started out for fun, taking pictures, flying around. And then, of course, my uncle pitched the idea, hey, you can use this thing potentially to make money, whether it's in real estate or filming. So I gave it a shot and didn't really waste any time, just got the ball rolling, went with registration and licensing and that sort of thing. And here I am today.
I find that interesting that there's licensing. I think a lot of people just think you buy the drone and you're okay. But I know my daughter was telling me she's got one, and I thought, really, licensing? Mm-hmm. So how does that go about, and why do you need one?
That's a very good question, Lorianne, and thank you for asking. I think it's a great idea from Transport Canada to promote the licensing, and after all, it is the airspace, and I guess you want to separate the riffraff. You want people to feel comfortable with these sort of things going on. But to answer your question, if there's an aircraft that weighs less than 250 grams, people aren't required to have a license. So if a hobbyist like your niece or nephew would like to get involved, they don't have to worry about these sort of things.
So how big is your drone?
It's actually right behind me there. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
It's not very big. It doesn't weigh very much. It's like featherweight, but it does a trick. She's a workhorse.
Do you have a cell phone attached to it, or how's the camera for it?
The camera is excellent. It's got a 4K video capability and high-res, high-definition photo as well. Really sharp, crystal clear images.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's just excellent.
So if you're wanting to get a license, what are the requirements you have to do? Is it just paperwork, or is it some kind of test, or?
It's all online. Doesn't take too much of your time and not very much money. You can start off by going to Transport Canada's website. I believe it's tc.canada.ca. You create a portal, like a login, and from there you go through it's all online. You do everything online, registration, and there's also a couple of licensing roads for people to dive into when they get started.
Okay. Nice.
Well, I know.
And do you know, sorry, Roy.
Go ahead.
I was just asked, do you know if, like, obviously we're in Canada, do you know anything, like if you were to take it to the States, does that license transfer over? I know we've got COVID right now, but when you can go there, will they recognize your license in the States?
I believe they would recognize it, but if you are going to travel to the States, it'd be best to check in with the local bylaws and see if there's any sort of update and other requirements they may have. It's always best to be safe.
Yeah, I would think here probably it would have to be registered with the FAA.
Yeah.
Just because they don't want anybody flying in the flight path of aircraft, landing and stuff. So
exactly.
I don't know the real specifics, but I know that the FAA is probably going to be involved, and then there may be some city or state regulations of where you can fly. I mean, they don't want you going in, peeking the windows and.
No, exactly.
Kind of stuff, but I mean, so it is regulated here. I just don't know how strict it is.
It is pretty strict if you want to get into it. I got a couple of like basic information here. For example, your aircraft must be marked with its registration number, and you have to, of course, keep your pilot certificate with you. And some of the basic rules that people can get to know are like you just want to be at least 30 meters away from people horizontally, which works out to be 100 feet. And of course, what do we got here? The maximum altitude is 122 meters height-wise. So it works out to be 400 feet. And of course, there's some restrictions like no flights within 5.6 kilometers of airspace and 1.6 kilometers of helipads. So there's some things to know. It is a little intimidating, but I mean, for those of you out there, you know, if you see a drone, the guy's most likely, you know, gone through his training and such. So no need to panic.
So, you know,
So
go ahead, Lorianne.
I was just going to say, who are your primary clients for this?
Primary would be real estate right now, 100% real estate. And here in Milton, actually, I got the opportunity to work with a gentleman. Too soon to mention any names, but at this point, we've been doing a real estate campaign, and he was mentioning to me there's zero drone footage of Milton. So in the last couple of weeks, I've been spending some time going through neighborhood to neighborhood, and yeah, looking forward to promoting some of that work. It's great.
Well, I would think some businesses might want, you know, an aerial view of their business or their properties.
Yeah, exactly.
I know here in Dallas, like in construction, they're starting to use drones a lot, not only to go look at the site where they may want to build something, or once the job starts, a lot of the general contractors, they'll use a drone to fly around the job to show the progress of the job. Instead of having to drive out to the job and come back, they can pretty much do almost anything that they could physically go out and look at with a drone.
Yeah, it's very safe.
Really popular. You know.
Yeah. I know that I know somebody who actually did one for a restaurant because to show the patio.
Ah, okay. That's a neat idea.
Yeah. I mean, you know, in our area, Milton, Mississauga, there's a lot of them, and it's great for, you know, you don't need to have them very long, and they can go onto Facebook as, you know, one of their ads there as well. That
great tools for advertising.
Well,
definitely.
Yeah. You could almost use it like a Google Street View.
Yeah, no, you could, and that's the funny thing. This project we're working on, we're going to start the video with like the Google Street View looking down, bird's eye view. And then of course, then the drone kicks in and brings you closer. So it'll be neat.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of potential in what you're doing, I would think.
Very much so. The industry is projected to be somewhere in the billions, but I'm on the wrong end of the pipe there. That's for the software, but making software for me isn't as fun.
Yeah, but still, I mean, still, you're basically pioneering it for yourself, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's that, you know, learn as you go.
Exactly.
So you could, if you keep track of all that stuff, you could put a course together and sell it.
Yeah, no, you could. There is an app called Drone Deploy. For those of you out there that are listening, it's free to download and an excellent tool for drones. Like you were talking, Roy, about the construction, survey mapping, I believe that's what they call it, surveying construction sites. Drone Deploy is 99%, I think, the app they're using for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So when you're doing the real estate, do you actually also use the drone inside the house? Float around?
You could, yeah. But I would just hold it like this. It's a great videographer tool. The gimbal holds the camera nice and steady, so you could actually do that. But flying it indoors, I wouldn't recommend. I tried that once, and I don't need to finish that story.
well, maybe a big warehouse or some big empty space, you know, something like that. You could probably do it in there. You know, if somebody wanted to look at a warehouse, they had 20 warehouses and you went through just, this is warehouse one, this is warehouse two, this has a
Yeah.
mezzanine, this doesn't, whatever. But,
And some companies have actually been doing that, flying the drones inside their big warehouses to, get a capture of the view of their inventory.
mhm.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So if someone wanted to get into drones, what would be your advice?
My advice would be know the laws first and foremost, and do your homework. Have fun, of course, but you just don't want to get into it. I guess I don't know the word I'm looking for here, but you really want to know your stuff when you're getting into it, because it is scary. Each flight for me is still a little nerve-wracking. There's a lot of responsibility and safety involved. So
How many flights have you done, you think?
I could pull up the flight log. I'm somewhere in 75 hours right now, plus,
Okay.
or 700 hours, something like that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you got some time behind you.
Yes.
So what is the cost for drones? I mean, from like low to high end.
Low to high end, I believe there's one you can buy at a store called OmniView Tech. It's at 427 in Dundas. They're in Etobicoke. I would say you can pick up a Tello for, I think it's like $150 on the low. You work your way up and you can see the best drone that you do not require a license for would be called the Mavic Mini. They sell for about $499 Canadian before tax. And then, of course, the prices, Roy, just go through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they do offer financing and that sort of thing as well.
Yeah. Because I would think, I mean, to me, 400, $500 for a drone sounds reasonably inexpensive.
Exactly.
For what
Great
it does.
investment, for sure.
For what it
Exactly.
does. But yeah, I thought there'd been a lot more. I'm sure you can
Oh, it
pay
is. It
as
is. It
much as
is.
you want for a drone, right?
For example, like I have the Phantom 4 that retails for 2,000. The next one up would be the Inspire 2. That's at about 4,500. Then there's the Matrice 600, which I believe is $30,000 without like the controller, the cameras, the batteries.
That's just the basic unit, no frills.
Just for the show, exactly. So
So what,
hopefully one day iDrone can pick one of those up.
So you got to be doing some serious business to afford that drone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, Lorian.
so what would be the significant difference between like your 500 to your 30,000 one? I mean, as far as, I mean, obviously technology, but what would be the
Payload
biggest?
hold weight for a longer duration. So that's the bigger thing. They can put bigger cameras on their rescue operations. They can have, their 4K camera on one side and their thermal camera on the other. Meanwhile, they're carrying like a life raft, for example, or a rope or something.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah. Local law enforcement is already involved. There is a company called Sugu. I believe they're located at Festi at Pearson International Airport. They provide flight training as well. And they're actually saying a lot of pilots now with this COVID-19 and aviation slowing down, a lot of these pilots are going into drones and getting involved. So
would you have your business, would you have an opportunity to work with law enforcement or rescue operations in your business?
Absolutely. I've yet to get into contact with the right people, to be honest, at this point. But there is a lot of potential in this industry for sure, and a lot of room for growth.
Well, kind of talking about the ground floor for sure.
Exactly.
So have you I mean, right now I know you're trying to probably get off the ground, basically, correct? In your business?
We're already off the ground. We're up and running. But yeah, we're getting there. I mean, requests have really yet to come in. I've just got like a few things on the go, which is great. I can focus on my full-time career for the most part. This is like something that I started up slowly, like I explained earlier. It was more of like a hobbyist thing, and slowly turned business.
But side hustle, that's the word, right?
Pardon me, sorry?
It's a side hustle.
Side hustle, you got it. Side gig.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I was having trouble thinking of the word. But have you thought, I'm seriously, have you thought about maybe like putting together a course teaching people this, or even like teaching seminars or anything like that?
Absolutely. I think I actually did a flight at Walmart recently, and a passerby came by and said he had a drone but was intimidated to get involved, and asked the same question. So the answer to that is yes. We've definitely given it some serious thought, and I guess the more that people are aware and feel comfortable with it, the more fun they're having. So
Yeah.
How hard is it to control one of those?
Honestly, I turned off beginner mode within like 2 minutes of my first flight. I was already confident. I mean, if you can play a video game, you can fly a drone.
I was just fixing to ask you now, are you a video gamer? So that makes a big, huge difference.
I don't know if my mom's listening. She'll be mad if I said yes, but no, not anymore. It used to be though. It used to be. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If I was there beside you, I'd be having a lot more trouble than you because I don't play video games.
Yeah, it's a lot of hand-eye coordination. The main thing is too, when you do first get involved with drones, don't look down at the screen. You want to maintain that visual line of sight with the aircraft. You want to be looking at all its moves. It's a little trippy if you're just looking down at the screen, like I tried it and quickly realized how dangerous that can be. So, yeah.
But it must be difficult not to look down on the screen. I guess that's something you have to discipline yourself with.
Yeah, exactly. It is a nerve-wracking experience at first. So like, and of course maintenance is expensive. So best to keep your eye. But yeah, it is a little bit of a challenge. Definitely is.
Very interesting. I've never watched somebody do that. So it'd be interesting to do that as well.
We can meet at the fairgrounds if you'd like this weekend. If you've got
great.
some time, I'll show you. Yeah. I'll let you fly it if you'd like.
Yeah, you can do a Facebook, Lorianne, you can do a Facebook Live.
Yeah, no, and you know what? That's
great.
a beautiful thing. You can hook up to Facebook Live through the drone as well, YouTube and that sort of thing. So it's great.
Instead of your paddle boat talk, you could do your drone talk.
There you go.
Do you think you could talk and fly the drone at the same time?
No.
You'd be surprised though, Roy. You'd be surprised. There's a microphone on the controller, so you'd pick up everything you say as well.
You can say, "Oh no, I'm crashing. That would be my biggest fear. It's like I would not be able, unless I had my own, I would not be able to use someone else's. It's like driving somebody else's car. I don't like doing it. I just always feel like, one thing goes wrong and I would just feel horrible. But to watch, I would definitely do it. It might inspire me to get one just for fun, one of those little kitty ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that's a little indestructible.
Exactly.
For anyone like that's looking to get involved, they do provide what they call a DJI Care Refresh package. So you are able to get 2 free replacements in 1 year if you do crash your drone, because they know people are going to crash. Like I've had probably 12 crashes since I've started. Some very cheap, some very expensive. So,
well, you were talking about how expensive it is to get them repaired. So, do you have to get them repaired like the place you buy them? Do they do service as well? Or
they do. They do provide service, but they are just so busy. So that kind of motivates me, or how do I say? Fly safer, because I really don't want to go back. The wait time for your drone to get repaired is long at times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any professional organizations for the drone industry?
Say again, sorry?
I said, are there any like professional organizations for the drone industry, like where all the people own drones come to meet, like in a conference or anything like that?
As far as I know, I'm not aware. I think there may be some software organization like Drone Deploy. Maybe they've got their hands in some sort of convention rally, but at this point, I haven't been to any or know of any.
I would think that would be a good way to network and you know, I mean, you know, you might also start a Facebook group.
That would be fun. It's just like, you know, the Jeeps all get together and the
Oh
different
yeah,
you know, motorcycle people. You could have the drones.
Yeah.
that would be terrifying. Yeah, it sounds like a swarm of bees over the parking lot. Yeah.
That's true, crashing into each other.
You know, it's crazy because I get a lot of different reactions. You know, like 90% of my street, they know me, they're comfortable with me flying around. And then, you know, of course, there's just like that one guy that just doesn't get it. And it can be frustrating, but I understand that not everyone, I guess, processes things, you know, like everyone else.
So what you're saying is every neighborhood has a get off my lawn guy.
Well, yeah, and that's just it. They think the airspace over their house belongs to them, and it really doesn't. And I mean, it's common sense. Like, you're not going to be flying over people's houses. Local law enforcement, you know, they monitor the airspace as well now, especially with a lot of the new rules been, you know, brought mainstream. So, and they do have the technology to monitor, right? So.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
So not only are you worried about the safety, just of as physically flying your drone, but then you've got to also worry about the law and the being able to see what you're doing, you know.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
What do you have the Mounties up there, right? Knocking on your door.
Yeah.
You know, he's from Texas. He's going to say that to us.
Hey,
that's okay.
That's okay. We have the sheriffs and stuff here, so I mean, you know. They ride up on their horse, you know, and knock on the door.
That's right. That's it. That's what they do. Here in Milton, they come up on their horses and they knock on our door. Yeah.
Oh, that's what they do in Texas. In their cowboy hats and their cowboy boots.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's true though. It's a lot to think about because I guess, you know, that privacy issue. I mean, people are always concerned about that. But
have you had
funny
anybody...
when you were
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, just when you were saying that, how certain people think about certain things. I used to rollerblade a lot, and rollerbladers were not liked in comparison. Like, people make fun of cyclists, but they really didn't like rollerbladers. And I mean, I was in my 30s. It's not like I was like a 19-year-old kid, you know, being goofy about it. But they're cars that used to literally like yell at me, get off the road. And then when I was on the sidewalk, get off the sidewalk. I had no place. And I find that there's certain things that people there are a group of people that just cannot wrap their heads around it. And the drones being new, that would be one of the things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you had anybody report you?
I have 0 reports. And I plan to keep it that way. I've had that one neighbor that just, you know, like I said, didn't get it. And, you know, I tried to be professional about it. But like I said, they just, I don't know if they're just not open-minded or whatever. But, you know, the best thing to do is carry your documentation on you at all times. That way, you know, if someone does have questions, you can show them and let them know that you're not, you know, hiding in a bush spying on them.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think that's probably a natural reaction for people. You know, they're like, "Oh my gosh, what's this guy doing?" You know, I mean, I think most people, that's just kind of like you say, it's a privacy thing. What's he doing? What's he looking for? Why is he over my house? You know what I mean? Yeah.
There's just certain things you don't do. You definitely don't fly over people's houses and that sort of thing. Like, there's height limits clearly visible on the screen. There's a lot going on. So at every moment, you know, you're aware of your altitude. If everything's being recorded as well. I've got like 300 flights logged, and still every one of them, you know, I can see what I did on the controls, whatever. But when it comes to flying over the houses, I keep a safe distance. So.
That's right. Now, do you have any galleries of some of the footage that you've taken? Like, do you maintain that in a gallery somewhere, or do you just keep that all private?
At the
That would
most
be an
part right now,
interesting thing.
it's private. I mean, I have, sorry for that, just low battery warning, 20%, which should be okay. But yeah, there is a gallery right now. It is private. It's a lot of work to maintain. So um, I guess as I proceed and time goes by, I'll come out with more stuff.
That would be fun, because that would be,
Hmm.
you know, I don't know that I've come across anywhere somebody who has a drone that has a gallery that you can take a look at some of their work.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
really neat. I
Well,
like
one
the
of the
smart
cool
drone.
things I would like to do is I've taken some photos of Taves Falls or Tewes Falls there in Hamilton. Great place to go check out the waterfalls, after all, being the waterfall capital of the world. But what I want to get into is plaquing these pictures. So there is a website called plaqueit.ca, I believe. And they have some really neat floating plaques and that sort of thing. So it'd be really cool to take these photos. You know, if you could actually, if the customer could go online, look at the gallery, order the canvas size that they want. So it's a little more than just, you know, drone work. It's art.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
he's got a Shopify store coming up, right?
Exactly. There's already one little store on there now.
Sweet.
It's under construction.
We're just making more money as we talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, one thing I didn't know, I was in Hamilton
Hmm.
about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and I had no idea they had waterfalls there. I wish I would have known that.
Oh,
But
well, you can come back anytime. Well, actually, that might be tricky, but
well,
you can't miss it.
I was supposed to be in Milton last week, but to visit Lori Ann, but COVID, so I wasn't able to come. So we may come next year or something. But I'll have Lori Ann take me and show me the waterfalls.
Well, you know what? You guys are running like an operation here, so I would look into it, Roy, and see if this could be, I guess, deemed essential of some nature or for a business trip, you know, and might be something to look into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Write it off as a business trip.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
I just had no idea. I mean, I was only in Hamilton for like a day, but still,
Mhm.
yeah, I wish I'd have known that. So that's kind
Oh,
of
we've got beautiful hiking trails all over here, like all over this area, and the escarpment, just gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's my other question. Kind of left it.
sorry.
Um, can't remember. I'll try and remember it.
Escarpment, maybe fines, that sort of thing. I could just imagine the questions
Oh,
people may have.
that was the question I had. So you said that this is a side shuffle.
Hmm.
Do you see it becoming something full time? Would you
Absolutely.
like it to be? Yeah.
I would, but that's a tricky situation, working full time in the family business, and I love it hands down. So that's a tricky one. If I could work 16 hours a day, I'll do it. But yeah, that's the plan. I try not to think too far ahead. I'm kind of a in the moment kind of guy. I don't want to stress myself out about the future. So, you know, if it happens, it happens. And that's it. Let's keep on flying.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, what uh, do you have any advice or for somebody that wants to get into drones?
You may have asked me this one already. Advice for drones?
You know,
Go through the training, basically.
okay.
You know, and you can just dive right into it. Like that's what I did. I jumped into it head first. I just kind of went down the list of things I had to do. Registration from Transport Canada, um, pilot training. That's online. You could do the course. It's $10, by the way,
Yeah.
to take the
Cheap.
online test. Yeah, yeah,
Cheap.
yeah. It's like a cash grab, you know. But hey, $10, you get your nice pilot certificate with your Transport Canada logo on the top there. I don't know if you guys can see it. This is what the $10 got me, but yeah, just getting trained. And I guess the most important thing is find out what you want to use it for. Maybe you don't need something of that caliber, really expensive drone where you can go and pick up a Mavic Mini for $500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Sure, go ahead.
No, I had a senior moment. I'm sorry, I had to think what I was going to ask. Go ahead.
I just had one earlier too. Okay, no, I call it a busy mind moment. Okay, not a senior moment, a busy mind. All right. So, where can people find you? If you're open for hire, we'd love you to let people know where they can find you.
They could find me at iDroneCanada.ca and also Instagram at iDroneArt, IDRONEART.
Perfect. Yeah, great.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. This is really exciting. I just think
Thank you.
that
Thank you very much.
they're an incredible, like, and I admire the people who can fly them too. It's like piloting something from down up there. That's really neat. So
Yeah.
thanks again.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Lorianne.
And I think, and another thing I like about it is you just got so much opportunity income wise. I mean, you got a lot of things you could do with that. A lot.
Exactly. There is a lot of things. Don't stress me out already.
What you do is you just also can hire somebody, Justin, and send them off to do whatever it is, train them,
yeah.
and then you have an assistant to go out there so you don't get stressed.
Yeah, no, exactly. You know what? When I run into people, that's exactly what I tell them. I've been working on some sort of rewards program. I want people to be involved and get something out of it, right? So that'd be great.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on and spending the time with us. Learned a lot and really enjoyed it.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend, guys.
Hey, you too. Thank you so much. Bye. Okay, cool.
All right. I think I'm going to need your copy on this one because I kind of slowed down for a little bit.